All the universe seemed centered on the planet Arrakis. Mixed with its endless deserts was a spice that allowed travel across the galaxy. And with the spice came treachery, deceit, and war to Arrakis, also known as Dune. The novel by Frank Herbert, Dune became a bestseller that spawned sequels and fired the imagination of designers looking to recreate the epic struggle in a board game format. At the time, Avalon Hill was one of the leading wargame companies and was looking to expand its format to reach other markets. Dune became the focus, and the rights were purchased by Avalon Hill, which set out to create a new type of game. Released during what many consider to be the golden age of wargaming, Dune represented a sea change of design. Instead of a standard wargame or light board game, Dune introduced and incorporated new gaming ideas. The components for the game center on the full-color map board displaying the planet Arrakis from an overhead view, followed by 6 shields for each player, in which each shield sports an illustration of the character representing the faction. 120 circular counters for the armies involved in the war, 60 square counters for spice, 30 disc representing a military leader, a deck of 33 treachery cards, 21 spice cards, 2 battle wheels to resolve combat, a player aid pad, and a rulebook. The objective of the game is simple enough. The first player to control at least 3 strongholds on the planet Arrakis with at least one of their forces during the Mentat pause phase wins the game. The player may win alone or as part of an alliance, which is the most often form of victory, but that requires 1 additional stronghold to be held. Created by the same team that made Cosmic Encounter, there are several factors that set Dune apart from most games of its time. The most important may be the asymmetrical nature of the factions. Each of the 6 factions in Dune have remarkably different abilities, from the Atreides, who can look at the cards before others can bid on them, to the Bene Gesserit, who can steal victory by predicting the eventual winner, to the Spicing Guild, that can profit whenever troops are sent to Arrakis. Each faction has its own unique power. Conflicts are resolved using a battle wheel, where players secretly commit troops, resources, and leaders. Instead of just calculating numbers, players anticipate the willingness of their opponents to sacrifice for victory. However, the traitor cards may turn a leader to the other side and upset the course of battle. And Dune is specifically geared toward making deals and switching alliances when necessary. All alliances in Dune can end when it's convenient, which makes betrayal part of the game. While Dune was widely considered an innovative design, it did not break sales records at Avalon Hill for various reasons. And when the company was purchased by Hasbro in 1998, all their old line of games went out of print, including Dune. Although out of print for many years, the popularity of Dune was so great that many fan versions were available for download on various sites. Because of the interest, the Gale Force 9 managed to get the rights and publish their own version in 2019. Gale Force 9 decided to upgrade the components of the Avalon Hill version of Dune, but their game is essentially the same. The components for Dune by Gale Force 9 begin with a game board which displays the planet of Arrakis. There is also a rulebook, quick start guide, 6 player shields, 6 player sheets, 2 battle wheels, 119 cards, and 324 tokens. Perhaps the main difference is the rulebook. While only 8 pages long in the Avalon Hill version, Gale Force 9 expanded the rulebook by adding more examples and explanations, but the turn sequence remains basically the same. The turn sequence for Dune begins with the Storm phase. The Storm marker moves around the world of Arrakis. The faction whose player marker the Storm is next approaching will be the first player for the turn. The top card of the spice deck is then revealed, and that amount of spice is placed in the territory highlighted on the card. This is the phase when, if a Shai Hulud appears, players can make or break alliances. Next is the Chom charity phase, where if players have a single spice or none at all, may receive Chom charity. This is followed by the bidding phase, where players bid spice to receive treachery cards. And that is followed by the revival phase that allows players to reclaim forces and leaders from the tanks. With the first player, the shipment and movement phase begins. Play proceeds counterclockwise around the table as each player brings forces to the planet or moves forces from the southern hemisphere, namely the Fremen, and moves them onto the game board. Now the battle phase begins with players resolving conflicts in territories that are occupied by more than one faction. Once the battle phase is completed, forces in territories that contain spice may collect it. The final part of the turn sequence is the Mentat pause phase, where factions may declare a winner or winners, or evaluate their positions on Arrakis before moving the turn counter on the time track, and the next turn begins. Arguably, the heart of the game is forming alliances. Alliances can only be formed at the end of the Spice Blow and Nexus phase. When the Nexus occurs, players may create, join, or break alliances. An alliance may only be formed with one other player, and while this provides advantages, it does push the victory conditions from capturing 3 strongholds to 4. Players may discuss openly the benefits and perils of forming an alliance. And once formed, all alliances must be revealed to everyone. Alliance cards are given to signify which players have allied with each other. You may make, then break, then form other alliances during the Nexus phase. Allied forces are not allowed to be in the same territory, save for the polar sync. Although your alliance is public, you may discuss strategy and share information in secret. You may also help your ally during the bidding phase by paying part or all of the cost for each other's treachery cards, paying for each other's shipments during the movement phase, and helping specific factions as noted on their player sheets. With all the attributes that the classic game of Dune offers by both Avalon Hill and Gale Force 9, the one limitation that many people talk about is how it plays best with 6 players, and that playing with fewer players leaves something lacking in the game. Since gathering 3 friends is often easier compared to 6, Gale Force 9 released another version called Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy geared towards 2 to 4 players. The components of the game are somewhat like the original version, starting with a more colorful map of Arrakis, followed by a rulebook, 6 faction sheets, 2 battle wheels, 278 tokens, a single die, and 94 cards. While based on the classic Dune game, Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy, does offer differences compared to the parent game. Arguably the most important difference is the emphasis on the lower player count. While the original Dune works best for 6 players, this version is geared to 2 to 4 players. There is no fixed turn limit in the original Dune, while this sequel is fixed at 5 rounds. This allows the game to be completed in under 2 hours. There are fewer factions in Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy, which consist of the Atreides, Harkonnen, Fremen, and Imperium. The other factions have been folded into the game. In addition, many of the mechanics of the game have been simplified or reworked, which provide more clarity but also speed up gameplay. The trader, battle, shipping, and movement mechanics are some that have been simplified for the game. Perhaps the main difference is that the diplomacy aspect is also simplified as well. This is due in part to the reduced number of factions, and while it is still the heart of the game, it is less involving compared to the original version. And finally, the win condition for Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy, is based on controlling 3 strongholds at the end of either turn 3, 4, or 5. That means the game will last at least 3 turns. If no one achieves that victory condition, then whoever has the most spice combined with strongholds is declared the winner. Basically, for those who have difficulty gathering 6 people to play the original game, Dune, a game of conquest and diplomacy, is a shorter, lighter version that does have trade-offs. Since 1979, Dune has grown into becoming one of the more celebrated games from the classic Avalon Hill era. Today, there are now 2 new versions that are in print which celebrate this most unique of games. Thank you for watching. You can find more videos on how to play games, along with rules explanations, play examples, unboxings, and more when you subscribe to the Seek Out and Play YouTube channel. In addition, there is a monthly Speak Out and Play podcast which is posted on the Seek Out and Play YouTube channel on the last Wednesday of each month. The audio version comes out 48 hours earlier on Buzzsprout and Spotify. At least one new video is released every week, so I will see you next Wednesday.